Muhlenberg Township Board of Commissioners meeting for Monday, October 20th, 2025 to order. All please rise for pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Or so good evening, to get out of executive session before the race. Waiting for the minutes. So we'll move on to no public presentations. We'll go on to the first public portion. Time for residents, taxpayers in the township to comment on matters of concern, official actions or deliberations which may be before the Board of Commissioners. There's no one signed in at the present time. Would anyone wish to speak under the first public portion? Sure. Nate.
You want to say a couple words about the Muhlenberg border? Sorry. Okay. Or is good, y'all can hear me. Well, good evening. Why don't you guys know me up front? You guys might not know me here all the time. I'm Nathan Round, I was hired about 9 months ago. For Muhlenberg Township Authority as the director of operations. So hopefully we're starting to see some changes within the authority. We've been having a great relationship, been building a good relationship with the staff at Muhlenberg Township, Jim and his crew, chief, and I also know some of the councilmen. So as we continue to build relationships, hopefully that the community will see some really good stuff. That's going to come about the direction that the authorities headed there. So if you did, I have no enforcement policy, I got to keep the call, I'm more than happy to talk to everything that you have questions for, so that's where we're at. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
What else? Thank you. Moving on. We'll move on to the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion. Second.
Questions or comments?
Yeah, I'll make a comment. Arson, we do need to make one small change for the minutes for the commissioner meeting. It's a minor thing, but under the call to order, all the commissioners were listed as absent and nobody was listed as present. And I know it's just a minor thing, but he can make that change.
The one other item on the consent agenda, the minutes should be, there were nothing in our packet about the budget meeting. So we should really approve those, but I guess we can wait till next month.
Yeah, you can, take it up next time.
Just so we have it on the next one. Joe, Jim, whoever. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any? The ayes have it, so ordered. Any unfinished business? Moving on to new business, I need a motion to approve the payment of bills presented by the Director of Finance and Customer Service.
Motion.
Second. Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. I need a motion to accept the civil service list for firefighters as certified by the Civil Service Commission.
Motion. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. I need a motion to authorize the fire chief to extend a conditional offer of employment to one candidate on the firefighter civil service list.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the chief? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. The motion to approve the civil service rules and regulation as adopted by the Civil Service Commission.
Make a motion.
Second. Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. 80. I need a motion to request an updated eligibility list from the Civil Service Commission for the position of firefighter.
Motion. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. A motion to approve pay application number 3 for Empire Services in the amount of $49,471.11 for work to be completed on the Laurel Run Park project.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. A motion to approve Empire Services change order number 1 in the amount of $309,685.44 for work on the Laurel Run Creek repairing forest buffer and stream bank restoration project.
Second.
Jim, just a little update for the public, please.
So back in 2020, we applied for some grant funding to create riparian forest buffer and perform stream bank restoration work on the Laurel Run Creek in the area of Payne Avenue and Laurel Run Avenue. 2 years later, we applied for additional funding, and by then the project was fully funded. So it took about 3 years to get the permitting to be able to do the work that you see happening there now. And as we were performing that work, we found that there were actually concrete banks poured sometime, we assume, in the 70s. And so as a result of that, the scope of the project expanded, and the creek upstream and downstream of the Payne Avenue Bridge will now be as wide as what the bridge is. So we get the opportunity. The downstream work is mostly complete. They've shifted down to create a rain garden that is an outfall from Laurel Park. And then by next week, we assume they'll be upstream of Payne Avenue Bridge, and we'll see a substantial difference. So originally the project was led in order to be able to satisfy state MSL requirements for sediment reduction in the creek, but it very quickly became a flood mitigation project as well. Once we realized we could expand the scope of what we have.
Thank you, Jim. Any further questions or comments? Go ahead.
Jim got us over $300,000 in grant monies for this job. I want to thank him for staying, keeping his eye on this for us. It was one of the things that I wanted to do for years and years and years. And I think this will alleviate a lot of the flooding from the Laurel Creek, and hopefully going up into the temporary where the water is going down to river faster. So thank you very much, Jim, for doing this.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Motion to approve the First Amendment to the Burn Fire Services Agreement.
Motion. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Need a motion to approve the HR specialist job description.
Good motion. I'll second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. A motion to approve the performance evaluation program as presented by the township manager.
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments?
I love the self-evaluation portion of the evaluation. I've done these before. I've noted that whenever there's a self-evaluation, usually the person that we're evaluating gives himself the highest grade. That's not the best thing for you. Usually, when the person says, I'm doing good, I'm average, that's usually the best thing. So, I like that portion.
So this, if I may, this for the general public, any job that you have a set of job descriptions. And then usually once a year, you receive some type of performance evaluation. We're making sure that we are tightening these things up within the township, so that's what this has to do with.
Thank you, commissioners. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. A motion to approve pay application number 1 for Empire Services in the amount of $250,204.80 for work completed on the Laurel Creek riparian forest buffer and stream bank restoration project.
Second.
Any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Any other new business, Jim?
No.
No, anyone from the board?
Yeah, I'd like to, I just want to make the board and the public aware, that on October eighth, Jim and I attended a housing forum that was, conducted by the Berks County Planning Commission, of which I'm a member of. It was done in conjunction with the, Berks County Realtors Association. It was very interesting forum. It was, a lot of discussion about the need for housing in Berks County. If you follow the local news, you'll see that that's been a real hot topic, within the last few years. And you'll hear the need for affordable housing, or now there's a new buzzword, workforce housing. I think that's
Or attainable
or
housing.
attainable housing. But it was really a discussion across the board for anyone in any salary range looking to move into Berks County, and the availability of housing that they can afford, whether it's very high end, or whether it's something, a little lower in the price range. A lot of the discussion had to do with the desire on the county's part to have municipalities ease some of their restrictions in order to accommodate new building or retrofitting existing housing to accommodate multiple families, and to be specific, like, things to do in-laws quarters, and that's like a separate quarters within an individual home. And Jim and I were probably in the minority in this group that we don't want to make this easier. There are regulations that developers are requested to follow, because the forum was really being run by people who earn their living doing new construction and doing reconstruction. So of course, they want to see some of the restrictions rescinded, so that, it's better for their business. But one of the things that they don't talk about is the impact on an existing community as far as municipal services that have to be delivered. That includes police and fire services and ambulance services. And they also, they don't really talk a lot about the impact to school districts. And, we just went through a comprehensive plan update a couple of years ago, so, we did that in conjunction with our friends from Laureldale and members of the school district, the Muhlenberg School District. So we are very cognizant of the types of impacts that happen with new construction, and, what happens when you have people coming in and changing homes to multiple family homes. Because when those families leave, if somebody else moves in, it makes it easier for them to start running, undocumented rentals, which is something else that we don't want to have because of the impacts to the overall community. So Jim, I don't want to put words in your mouth. While I found the forum was very interesting, and I like being part of those discussions, I am all for redevelopment, as opposed to just chewing up every piece of available land that's out there. As far as Muhlenberg is concerned, we are very built out. We don't have a lot of area that is even right for new building, new construction any longer. But, we were pretty vocal about some of the changes that they wanted to implement, or were looking to ease restrictions on, construction within existing structures. And, Steve, I know that that's something that, you'd like to make sure that we have a pretty tight rein on. And that's not to be uncooperative with the public, it's just to safeguard the homeowners, the business owners, and the community at large. So while I found the forum interesting, we just kind of looked at it with a little bit of caution, so that people aren't starting running wild with new construction and upgrades. Jim, I don't know if you want to make any additional comments, but that's
No,
just for the board's purpose.
was that the meeting, to your point, the meeting was mostly about, the developers, and, there were very few, there was very little input from the municipal.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have no board appointments tonight. Anyone wish to speak under the second public portion?
Alex, can you introduce your fire guys that talk about the fire station?
Sure, first off, thank you for, coming to our home. Our station here is one of the three, in the township. This is our headquarters. Station 1 is down on Madison Avenue. We have another station across town on Tuckerton Road. This evening, we're joined by Lieutenant Dante Calerio, Deputy Chief, Eric Reinhardt, and Deputy Chief Tony Morgani. Both Eric and Tony have been involved pre-existing to Muhlenberg Township Fire and Rescue, going back to when it was Temple Fire Company. Do you guys want to share how long you've been involved in the Township Fire Service?
I'm here 27 years.
I started as a junior in 1986, so, you may not be correct. My resume is not that impressive. I joined in 2022, so there you go. That's right.
So I thank them for taking the interest, and want to kind of see how, government works here with the township. So thank you guys for being here.
We've got one of the next chief back from Mark George.
Yeah, that's a nice question.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, guys. All right, moving on, staff comments. Jonathan?
I just want to remind everybody to utilize the Go to Muhlenberg app. Great tool, great resource for residents and commercial business owners to utilize it. It's a good accountability for Muhlenberg Township, for the officers, get the complaint number assigned, it's follow up or follow through. Just please be patient if you do use the app. The judicial system is a long process. Things don't happen overnight. Thank you.
Yes.
Other response?
Dylan? Aaron?
Happy to report another successful road paving project is complete, 2 actual projects this year. A little bit on the east side, a little bit on the west side. We also repaved the cycle center side of Wawa, so you'll notice that if you take your brush there. We're officially right around 28 miles in the last 12 years that we repaved. We've touched about 88 different roads, and also both projects came in under budget.
Thank you. Chief?
Want to remind everybody that the review is October 31st from 1800 to 2100. And to hear, Steve Douglas comments about the roads and that. You can also put stuff on there. However, I want to emphasize that if it's an in progress incident, you need to call the non-emergency number. That system is not monitored by the police department 24/7. It could be several hours or a day later until we see that posted. So if it's in progress, please call the non-emergency number. Obviously, this is emergency call.
Thanks, Chief.
So some statistics from September, 161 calls for service. We're at 1399 per year at the end of September. One thing that I don't normally share, but I think it's kind of interesting, the amount of time that our membership has put in bettering themselves. In September, we had 403.5 man hours of training. So throughout the year, we do various training in-house, external, usually anywhere from 2,500 to 3,500 hours of training. Personnel each day, so sharing that, the higher one. Shows our commitment, our personnel's commitment to bettering themselves. So also October Fire Protection Month. Check your smoke detector batteries, check your CO detector batteries. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Jim?
We had a planning commission last week, so we did not have one, as that's traditionally happened, that planning board commission meeting. Other than that, that's all we got.
All right. Commissioner Hoffmaster, you're up.
Yeah. On Saturday, we are at budget meeting. Just want to thank Dawn, he did a good job. We learned a lot about the budget and stuff. And like I said, me and Dylan on the board for 2 years. And the other commissioners did a good job
the township, we move forward with the township, we have good hands with Mike McDonald, that's the people in this township. Just appreciate all the stuff that guys do, when we go to the board, really, they keep the tax down low and that, just seeing at the budget thing, what they did before, to get on the board, you know, how good the township and good hands, we're moving forward, we're moving backwards, we're going forward, everything, in this township, I just want to thank them.
Commissioner Wolf.
The Parks and Rec Department did a very fine job with the home holidays this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it rained that one day. But we had a great turnout, and we really had a good time with a lot of volunteers coming out and help run the program. So we did a good job there. Had a situation with my trash not being picked up the other day, and I noticed with the go-to Muhlenberg app, that's usually a big thing people call about it. I called up the trash department and they said, we'll be right up, we'll pick it up. So they did that, so if you ever have any problems with trash, just call the trash department and I'll pick it up either that day or the next day. As you get older, you look at the obituaries. And I looked at it, I saw the obituary the other day. Shirley Napolitano, who was a resident long-term in Temple. She was a teacher at Muhlenberg, actually she graduated from Muhlenberg in '51. She taught Muhlenberg for 27 years. She was a volunteer at the Muhlenberg Library for 17 years. That's where my wife and I met her. She died on the 11th, 92 years old. So I just want to mention her name. She did a great job doing a little bit of it. Yes, ma'am.
What are you talking about? I couldn't hear the name.
Napolitano.
Napolitano, I'm sure.
Yeah, he butchered the pronunciation.
And I know that.
Charlie was married to Matt, who had, Mark Michelle.
Center Square. Cut any of time. Thank you, Commissioner Cerulli.
Thanks for coming out tonight and, have a good night. So.
Commissioner Ware.
I want to echo Commissioner Hoffmaster's comments on the budget meeting. I want to thank all of our staff for the hard work that they did, to put budgets together for their departments. I want to thank Dawn for putting together a good program. And everybody says that the commissioners have to make the hard decisions, and we do. But it's easier to make those decisions when you have good information from our staff, who works very, very hard to give you the services that we are here to provide, and to do so as economically as possible. And with the staff that they have, so I wanted to thank our staff for that. I also want to make one call out. We get our reports before this meeting. This month was 171 pages to go through, but in there were two small paragraphs. I'm not going to read it verbatim, but I do want to recognize officers Skiana, Fletcher, and Shoebridge for responding to a call regarding an unconscious 6-month-old. When they arrived at the call, the baby was not breathing, and they took they gave life-saving measures and performed CPR for approximately a little bit over 5 minutes until EMS was able to arrive. And I think it's fantastic that EMS was able to arrive in 5 minutes. But for anybody that has ever had an incident with a child, 5 minutes can seem like forever. And for anybody, I know our first responders here are well versed in providing CPR. I practice CPR, I've never done it on a person. But, when you do CPR on an adult, it's hard enough, and to do it on a child, that's just tremendous. So, I'm happy to report that the second paragraph says that the baby is currently doing well and is back at home, so, Chief, I just want to make sure that the officers know that, you know, of all the things that they do, I was very touched personally to see that, and, I'm glad that they were able to save the infant, so, thank you for that.
It'll be addressed in next.
Good to hear.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just real quick, once again, to Dawn and the township staff and my fellow commissioners, we are proposing a budget with no tax increase, which is unusual in this day and age, and also some investment, since we're here, in our fire services with the chief, based on some manpower stuff, and continuing to invest to make sure that we have the appropriate resources and tools for you guys when you get out there. But we were able to do that without raising taxes and invest in that, because we have done a very good job with building up a pretty healthy reserve for us. So that's a tribute to the staff members, not me or any commissioner. It's their due diligence to do a lot of work with only 12% of their tax dollars. And as you know, sitting here, as important it is to really address fire services for the long-term future. So since we're here, I thought it's important to know to be able to invest in certain departments without having the rate millage and using that as an excuse to do so. So I appreciate everything and all the work that's gone in to all the guys to be able to get to that point. We're also at the highest level in my long time here with our police staffing and the great work that they do. So it really is, if you're not there, you haven't been to the meetings, it's a tough process, but our teams do a lot of work, plus take care of 437 acres of parkland. So we do a lot of good stuff for your lowest tax dollars, and thank everyone here that helps do that. So I thought it was important to say. Also, as important as that is, I'm not gonna get into politics, but there's an election day coming up, and I know they call them an off-year election. But if you ever try calling your state representatives or your congressional people and try to get anything done, doesn't happen. Those guys and gals at the local level are usually who get things done for you. So I think it's important we all get out and express our voice however you think. Just make sure you go to ballot box so your voice can be heard. So thank you all for coming. Thank you to our folks there at Temple for hosting us, and be safe. Have a good day.